How's it going, everybody? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Here in Minnesota, it has stopped raining for the time being. We'll see for how long. Something I wanted to talk about is why I just cannot respect police. Even when the man that wears the badge is a respectable person, I cannot respect him when he puts on that costume. Because here's why. And it starts with the fact that he follows orders. Okay? That is a dangerous position to be in to begin with. Why is that? That's because when you sign up to follow orders, you do so with the knowledge that those orders might and probably will conflict with your moral code. Any man that is willing to take orders from another man which conflict with his moral code, is not a man of high moral standings, okay? That is number one. So the man cannot rise any higher than that. Even if the entirety of his life is spent doing good things when he's not wearing a police badge, the chance is always there for him to do a grievously horrible thing because he was following an order. That makes them dangerous. That makes them untrustworthy, and that makes them, for all intents and purposes, did I already say that? No. Machines. That makes them machines. Machines, what separates man from machine but our conscience? And our conscience is our free will and our ability to parse out what's right and what's wrong. Okay. And then, these men of low moral standing, they go to work and they sit and they sit and they sit while they get paid. And then they wait for somebody to come by who's doing something that can give them a little action in their life because they're so bored from sitting and getting paid and eating for free. So they pull over somebody for having a license plate light out. Even though the license plate is clearly visible, that one light is out, so we can pull them over. And that is exactly when the training kicks in, isn't it, officers? That's when you start lying. Everything you say from that point on can be disregarded when it comes to a factual basis. Because you will say and do anything to extract an ID and an arrest out of those people. That is your sole focus in life, isn't it? And you know how I know it is? Because I've been an addict. And I have seen how addicts act. And you know what? Addicts act the exact same way you do towards IDs. And so I will never trust an addict. You know why I'll never trust an addict? Because I've been an addict. And I know that addicts do untrustworthy things, much like police do when they are in search of an arrest or an ID. So there you go. We've got men of low moral standing who are addicted, and it's an addiction to power. And don't get me wrong, power is one of the most formidable drugs out there, and I'll tell you why. Because not only does it give you control over other people, but it gives you an actual high. It releases them fun endorphins like serotonin and dopamine and all of those, and most of all, adrenaline. You get that adrenaline mixed with serotonin and dopamine, and it's better than meth, isn't it, officer? Watching people shake because you're coming up to them with a gun and then mocking and using that against them. You love it, don't you? It gets you high. You know how I know it gets you high? Because I can see the fiend all over your face. And you know, that is the culture of these cops. we can't expect anything to change, because they have bred into the career has been bred an addiction to power. That is part of the training. Okay, look at how easy it is to mind control the entire country with the news, and then tell me it's not easier to mind control the bottom 10% of IQs to get addicted to IDs. I mean, it's simply Pavlovian. It would be the easiest thing in the world to do, and that it's not a would be, it's an is. And that's why when they are wearing that uniform, you cannot trust cops, because they are addicted. They are addicted, and it is Pavlovian. And for all of their, through no fault of their own, these guys and gals, unfortunately, a lot more lately, gals who can't actually handle the situation with mere hands, then resort to shooting people. But these guys and gals are not intelligent, and especially the gals then are not intelligent, and they're at a disadvantage physically. So what do? They lie to people. They get that big gruff dyke voice, and they shoot people. They shoot people to death. And then you know what they do? They break down just like any other woman does in any other situation when she's feeling overwhelmed. These aren't the kind of people that you want in charge of others' safety. Okay, I know that was a little bit of a segue, and an abrupt one at that. I kind of just lost a second gear, didn't I? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm riding in fifth till the day that I die. So, yeah. Why else? Why else? They're terrified. They're terrified like wounded animals. Look at the video the other day with Officer Dane with my cat. Great Dane come to bully a cat. Isn't that funny? I swear to God, life is a simulation. It just has to be. Look at the fear in his eyes when I was behind him. How big am you? Want to know how big I am, or how big I'm not, dude? I'm 5'8"3/4. I had my shirt all the way open so he could see my entire waistband. I'm like 143 pounds. And I got a bad back because I slouch and play guitar, and slouch while I play guitar. So, look at how afraid he was of me. That dude was at least 6'3", 6'4". And he was decked out with a murder uniform. He could have taken my life within 1 second in so many ways before I could have ever even inflicted a single wound upon him. And look how afraid he was to have me behind him. That's trauma-based mind control, guys. That's why you can't trust these cops. They are mind controlled. Getting a little conspiratorial, eh? I didn't expect this when I started the video. I expected to just pick on their low integrity, but no, that's really what it is. And you know why you haven't seen an entire police training academy? You know why? Of all the things that are on YouTube, why is that not on YouTube? It's because they don't want you seeing that they are trained to see you as a mortal enemy. Some of them have let it slip. And I think their actions speak for themselves, clearly. But it's really, really important to just realize you can't get these people to think rationally, because they are mind controlled to think irrationally. Let's see, what's a good example of that? cops are honestly the best example of that. But MK Ultra, I mean, look at any. Let's compare this to any news-watching television believer. Shout out to Conspiracy Music Guru. Check out his channel if it still exists, and his music. It is awesome, and it's better with time. That man's music, it's like what I'd actually buy. You know, it's fantastic. Conspiracy Music Guru. Anyway, cops, think about how hard it is to get through to somebody who watches Fox or CNN religiously. Think about that. Try to convince them. Think about whoever in your life watches Fox or CNN, and then think about how hard it is to convince them of anything that goes against their viewpoint. Even if it's steeped in cognitive dissonance. Can't do it, can you? That's the same as cops, because it's the same brand of mind control. You can't speak logic to an illogical creature. So, what do we got to do? Well, I mean, we got to read the Constitution. I can't really say much on here because this platform likes to side with the tyrants. But, you know, we all claim to be constitutionalists. Are we really? Are we really? Because what time is it? I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you all have a wonderful day.